Good morning, family. I'll just go ahead and jump right into it. The first dream that I had, this is it in detail. I was trying to get on a bus and I wrote it down so that way I could just remember everything, so I'm reading off of it. But I was trying to get on a bus, and as I was waiting, I noticed that the people walking had different colored balls of light on them. And you knew from the colors what global event they were talking about. So wars, solar flares, politics, earthquakes, etc. And instinctively, I knew that though they were talking about these events, they weren't linking it back to Jesus. Like they weren't thinking that this had anything to do with, his coming. And I said to the person beside me something like, when you see everyone talking about one of these things, that's how you know that God is about to do something big on earth. And I met the entire planet. And so basically it was like every single person was talking about something along those lines, like some global big event. And so because the earth is like in chatter about one of these big things, it just lets you know that he's about to do something big, is basically what I meant by that. Finally, we get on the bus, but there are two people who weigh like 600 plus pounds, and they were having a hard time getting in, and they were making it difficult for others to get in too. And I said something like they weren't meant to carry that weight, and I was trying to explain that they had to let it go to get on the bus, and then we could take off. Dream number 2, my family and I had just moved into this older house that was newly renovated. Okay, so it's an older house, but newly renovated. People from the construction site also lived in some of the rooms temporarily just to help, finish up some things. Though it was newly renovated, it still had a lot of issues, and I would see roaches as well sometimes. Finally, the construction man who lives on the first floor was asking my husband if he was ready to move. My husband was confused, and the man explained that they were scheduled to demolish the house and the bulldozers were on the way. He was surprised that we didn't know about the date and that no one had told us. And he was pointing out all of the issues the house had, as if that should have been our clue that we weren't supposed to live here very long. So basically, we're just like sitting there talking, and he's just like, yeah, you see this? You see that? Like look at the floors, look at this, look at, your kitchen, whatever the case. And so in his mind, it should have just been obvious that, no one's supposed to be living here too much longer. And so he was just surprised that no one told us that they were coming today. Like we didn't know that today's the day, like this is the date we're supposed to go. And anyways, he said something like, you can't slap paint over problems. They've got to tear it down and start over, And so my husband was upset and didn't understand why they would even allow us to move in if they knew that they'd be kicking us out pretty soon. Then a lot of my family appeared, like it was a family reunion, and they were helping me to say goodbye to the house, which was surprisingly my deceased great uncle's house all along. And they were surprised that I couldn't recognize it, and they were pointing out how he never had it in this condition and that whoever had ownership of this house wasn't keeping up with it. Then I walked past a family member who never liked me, and they came up behind me and asked for a hug, and they wanted to let the past be, given everything that we've all went through with our grandfathers passing away, like the elders passing. Then the family smiled at how we mended things, and she had given me a hug and everything. So I prayed to God about a chapter to give, and I opened my Bible, and it opened to this. My soul longs for the courts of the Lord. And so it basically says how he's longing to live in God's house, right? And I know that we're familiar with these verses. So here, I'm sorry. For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than to dwell in the tents of the wicked. And so obviously I think that the dreams pretty much explain themselves. I feel like the earth is what this house is, and that we're just like not supposed to be here. We're supposed to move. And if you look at the condition of the earth, it's, you know, it's time to go. And, you know, it's like the constructor, he was just surprised that we didn't know. Like, the signs are everywhere, right? Like, look at this house. It's everywhere. You should know that it's time to go. I also wanted to talk about let's see if I can pull it up here. The calendar possibility, right? Possibility. And I've already gone over how I believe the 30th and the 31st are the 23rd and the 24th on the Enochian calendar. But in light of everything coming out, like all these videos, I never even thought to like count back and go in reference to the Julian calendar, like count back 13 days. And when you do that, like just from the 30th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, you land on the 17th, right, of October. And if you did the 29th, you would land on the 16th. And so, you know, it's just very interesting. And I'm definitely going to be high watching on the 29th as well, because maybe I was a day wrong or whatever the case. I didn't feel the need to do a whole new video on it because, I mean, the day, it's the 28th now. So it's like, time will tell, right? So I just don't feel the need to do another video. But anyways, yes, be blessed. Oh, also something I wanted to note is that so far I have not had a dream that has said that I've been deceived, you know? And I feel like with going into fasting and prayer, and I was back on my fast today, even though, you know, the household caught a cold. I went back on it yesterday, I'm sorry, and today as well. But yeah, so you know, I've been strict with it, but yeah, I believe that if I was being led astray, by now, God would have told me in my dream in some way. But instead, all of the messages that I've been receiving are that he's coming soon, you know? Like, I feel like every single dream has some sort of prophetic meaning, and that's not usually the case with me. You know, I get silly dreams. They don't really mean anything. But lately, while being on this fast, they've all been pointing towards his arrival. So yeah, I feel reassured that we're on the right track. And, you know, even if these dates pass, we're still not being deceived. We just don't have the full understanding, right? So anyways, just wanted to share that with you all, and be blessed.